So first the computer, and then the light, and then the other computer, and now this. My new laptop's on its way. We're just gonna deal with this and not talk about it anymore today, though. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. It's been a while since I've covered something from the Rankin and Bass lineup. There's kind of a running joke about how I'm low-key terrified of all of them. But then I remember the other day that there exists something called the Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July special. And I had never seen it, so I was like, well, time to make a video. And let me say two things right off the bat, because I did pre-watch this one. It is way too long. And it is a drug trip. I'm not saying it's bad, just two observations, just to get out of the way, because I have so much more to say about this. But yeah, let's get into it. Christmas in July. Everybody loves Christmas in July. So we start off with Rudolph and Frosty at the North Pole, just chilling out, like, hey man, what's up?
Hey, Rudolph!
We get this stop-motion Frosty, which I've never seen before.
What a great June day!
Positively balmy. Only 10 below.
It's like living up north. Shout out to all my family members up in Maine. I love you guys.
Millie, chili.
Okay, Daddy.
Oh yeah, and Frosty's married with 2 kids. That was news to me because I had never seen the particular movie where Frosty gets married. Apparently it exists because there were like 3 or 4 Frosty movies, but that's a thing.
Would you light up your nose for us, Uncle Rudolph? Just once, please. Okay.
And this is the part that I don't understand. I didn't realize that Rudolph could like light up his nose on command. I thought part of like his being an outcast was that it just would like blink randomly and everybody made fun of him for it.
What's the matter with your nose?
I don't know.
But uh-oh, his light is going out. And that's a problem, I guess.
Believe it or not, Rudolph's nose went out. And all because of something that started years and years ago.
We are now going to get a backstory which I can only describe as like very sci-fi. Like I don't like maybe you'll sorry Loki. Maybe you'll know what I mean in a second, but like it's like there was a person and they ruled over and they had magic and then there was another person.
And this terrible tyrant's powers came from a scepter of solid ice.
Yeah, so there's this Iceman and he rules over the North Pole. This was a while ago.
One day, there came a being who was more than his match.
God.
Lady Boreal.
Oh, okay. So the magic lady shows up and is like, hey, Iceman, stop freezing people. Or something. And he's like, make me. And she's like, okay. What am I without my articulate movie synopsis? So she puts like a Sleeping Beauty curse on him where he's just asleep for like a long ass time.
Too powerful for me.
And what I love about this is that he's like, oh no, she got me. And then the next thing we see is him like sleeping like comfortable in his little ice bed. So it was like he knew he was going down and he was like, well, better go sleep this one off.
Winterbolt and all his evil were forgotten.
Aw, the poor little ice dragons. Why did they get dragged into this?
And I suppose it was Lady Boreal's good grace which led me and my young bride to these Northlands.
Oh yeah, and this movie doesn't just cross over Rudolph and Frosty, it crosses over like pretty much every major Rankin and Bass Christmas special in some way. It's like the Avengers of Christmas. And it's in July. Because now we've got Santa and Mrs. Claus showing up, apparently directly after the events of Santa Claus is coming to town. You remember when Santa was on the run from the fascist government? You remember that movie?
Alas, nothing is forever.
But then the magic lady kind of, sort of dies. She doesn't die. She kind of dies.
But in Santa, the Northlands have a kind and true leader.
I mean, do they? Because I spent a lot of December talking about how the elves need a union.
And she became again the magic glow of the Aurora Borealis.
And so when she is no more, the Ice King guy wakes up from the curse that she put him under, just automatically.
I am awake! I live again! Winterbolt lives!
What a vibe, dude.
Who is this, my magic eye of snow shows?
Oh, and so he's very upset to find out that Santa Claus exists because he's like, I am the only powerful man on this very cold rock. The North Pole isn't a rock. You know what I mean. You know, he's had the Sleeping Beauty curse, and now in Snow White fashion, he goes to consult, I guess, his version of a magic mirror, which is terrifying.
His power comes from the love he receives from children all over the world.
I do not care for it.
He sets forth in his sleigh and leaves every child a toy.
So this dude's like, oh, of course everybody loves Santa. He's buying out their loyalty, so I will just get rid of Santa. And then I will buy out their loyalty better.
I could be greater than Santa!
And so plan A is to cast this horrific fog over the North Pole so that Santa can't deliver the toys. This might sound familiar because it's the plot of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
They'd become lazy and dependent on me, and I would rule them all!
Alright, I'm gonna need you to dial it back like 7 notches, dude.
There's more than just giving toys.
There's breaking and entering, too.
There is kindness and the loving warmth of a family on Christmas morn.
And that. There's also that.
But I am so old and weak.
Same lady. You see what I mean? She's not dead, but she's also not present. I'm a little unclear as to what exactly happened to her. She, like, rejoined the Aurora Borealis.
I must leave him something small, I fear, to guide him.
So from this scene, we literally find out that Aurora Borealis Magic Lady sent Rudolph to help Santa. This was divinely guided. The birth of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then he's only been born like 3 minutes ago, and she just shows up and she's like, hey kid, got a job for you.
I have so little magic left to leave thee. Use it wisely and well.
She puts this magic mark on his hoof, which I didn't know about until right now, and then gives him his red nose that everybody's gonna bully him about, and is like, you'll have your magic, which I didn't really realize it was magic. I just thought it was kind of like an LED light. And she's like, you'll have your magic for as long as you are a good person. So it's kind of like Pinocchio. They're really pulling inspiration from a lot of different fairy tales.
And your nose will glow so long as you use it for good.
She gives him like the full Boy Scout pledge. He's been alive for like a second.
Use your secret magic well.
Secret magic. I will give this child secret magic, marked only by this very obvious blinking red nose.
Hey! Where's my boy?
And then they completely rewrite this scene where the dad comes in. Like, the dad's still disappointed, you know, because Rudolph's dad is terrible. But, like, they show that scene, but it's completely different than the original in the classic movie that everybody has seen. So I don't know why. Then we see a montage of, like, the events from the first movie. Like, they're bullying him, and then nobody steps in, and then as soon as it's advantageous for Santa, he's like, I have a job for you, kid. So because of Rudolph's utilitarian purpose to Santa Claus, the fog cast by the Ice King is null and void. It doesn't work.
A red-nosed reindeer?
He's very upset about it.
A red-nosed reindeer is no match for King Winterbolt.
King Winterbolt, that's his actual name. Winterbolt sounds like a gum. It sounds like a type of gum, you know what I mean? So now we flash back to present, where, you know, Rudolph's with Frosty and Frosty's kids, and his nose is going out, and if you're like me, you're thinking, well, that flashback explained almost nothing, and then Winterbolt shows up again.
Rudolph's magic shall not glimmer.
He just hits him with a big ice bolt, and then his nose just completely extinguishes.
It's all over, Frosty.
Rudolph is like collapsed on the ground, and Frosty's being very calm about it.
Oh, Rudolph,
Your nose just can't go out.
He's like, oh wow, sorry little buddy, you want some water?
I can't lose my nose.
Do you think sometimes some of the elves like do that got your nose thing with Rudolph and he has a whole identity crisis? But then he just stands back up and is like, no, by the power of God and anime, my nose will light up, and then it does. So Winterbolt goes back to the creepy ice fortune teller.
He has the wonder of the aurora borealis within him.
Ugh, so unpleasant.
So long as he uses the nose for good, it can never go out.
He must be made to leave the North Pole.
So Winterbolt realizes that he has to lure Rudolph away from the North Pole and get him to use his powers, again, the powers being his light-up nose, for evil. And then he'll lose his powers for good.
Rudolph! Hey, Rudolph!
Hey, it's Milton,
Who?
Who?
the flying ice cream man.
Oh. That explains everything.
Come on.
Dinner's ready, sweethearts.
So Rudolph wants to introduce Frosty to the flying ice cream man, Milton.
But I've got dinner on the table. It'll get all warm.
You can always cool it up in the ice stove.
And Frosty's wife is like, but I have dinner already. And Frosty's like, oh, sorry, honey. Can't right now. I'm gonna go meet a flying ice cream man in a hot air balloon.
How you doing, Milton?
Awful.
What's wrong, Milton?
I'm in love.
Aw, poor guy. Always sucks.
With who? You're in love with a whole circus?
Rudolph!
Just with her, Lady Lorraine.
So the poor ice cream man was going to marry tightrope walker girl on the tightrope. What a baller wedding that would be.
The circus is going broke.
And then because the circus is like doing poorly, like financially, it's about to be taken over by some like sleazy businessman, and so he just kicked them out of their own wedding. This poor guy can't get married because of capitalism. That sucks.
What luck! Thank you, Eye of Snow.
And then apparently Winterbolt can just put ideas into people's heads, so he does this by, like, enchanting, like, a ball of snow, a snowball, if you will, and, like, sending the thought out. And, like, the sound effects are hilarious because it's, like, it sounds very digital. Like, it sounds like he's, like, programming the snowball. So the thought that he puts into Milton's head is that, hey, Rudolph, you should come and perform at the circus.
There's only one guy who could draw the kind of crowds the Circus by the Sea needs.
And that's you, Rudolph.
So that it'll draw a big crowd, and they'll make enough money to keep the circus in the family, and then they can get married. I'm not 100% on why the two things connect, but anyway.
It would be wonderful if we could go with him, Frosty. I sure would like the twins to see a real circus.
And Frosty's wife and kids want to go to the circus too, and Frosty's like, you remember how we're all snow people and it's July?
No way. The seashore on the 4th of July? We'd be real misfits.
You wouldn't be misfits, you'd be liquid.
Oh, Frosty, I just forgot for a minute.
She forgot that they were snow people? And then she sings a whole song about how she doesn't regret marrying Frosty, which I don't think was the topic of their conversation, but it's a nice gesture.
You are everything I've always wanted more than anything. And if there's any doubt, well, now you know.
Imagine if you said to your significant other, hey, I don't think we should go to that movie. I just, I don't think it would be a very good idea right now because of X, Y, or Z. And they're like, okay, honey, I don't regret marrying you at all.
You are everything I've always wanted more than anything.
Wait a minute. Do they have a fireplace in their house for the snow Pete? What?
That melting business is a nuisance, but it doesn't make you all misfits, Frosty.
So Rudolph's like, we need a way to make you guys unmeltable so you can come to the circus. And on cue, Winterbolt is just like, did someone say circus?
Just say I'm an old magical friend.
He gives them magical amulets that'll let them be unmeltable for 24 hours.
On each is a design. the letter F 4 times entwined.
Yeah, F, 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 F. F, 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 F.
What a meme. I love that. That's maybe my favorite part of the whole movie.
The amulet's magic only lasts until the final firework fades on the 4th.
And then he just leaves on an icy wind that just blows everybody over.
I never heard of any icy fairy godfather. Well, I guess I'm just being overcautious.
And then they tell Santa that they're all leaving, and Santa's like, a random dude with ice powers that none of us have ever seen before, who just came down out of thin air? Not suspicious at all. Go have fun at the circus. And then Frosty's talking about how it's a shame that they literally have to be gone by the time the fireworks show happens, because it would be nice if they could see the fireworks show. Winterbolt is watching them. A lot like Santa, he's kind of got stalker vibes going on, and he takes up another little snowball, and then the hacker noises come in, and he puts thought into Santa's head.
Say, I just got a wonderful idea. Mama and I'll fly my sleigh down for the 4th.
And so Santa's like, we'll go with you so that we can, like, magically zap you back to the North Pole in the magic sleigh that goes, like, a gajillion miles an hour so that you guys can see the fireworks. I think it's cutting it a little close for fireworks, but anyway, solid plan, I guess. And I wasn't a huge fan of the song that Frosty's wife sang in the first place, but then they literally just use the same song again, but they just have Milton sing it about his fiancée, which really draws your attention once again to just how thrown together the lyrics are.
Everything I've always wanted. You are everything I've always wanted, and I'll never let you go.
But they all take off in Milton's hot air balloon and go somewhere south to the circus. Oh yeah, and just a heads up, stop-motion clowns will be prevalent from here on out.
Hi, Lainey. Hi, Ms. Lorraine.
Oh, Mama, isn't he wonderful? He's the greatest ice cream man in the world.
I like that she said that, like, that's what makes him marriage material. He's the best ice cream man ever. Fully respect his hustle, I just find it funny.
In person?
Well, I'll be... Yahoo!
Oh, geez, careful with that thing.
Milton's like the butter pecan he sells. A little nuts, but mighty yummy. Wahoo!
Again, with the why.
And Santa Claus, too.
Santa, too? What an idea for a closing act.
Stop! Stop it! I know, it's very exciting. Stop shooting. I saw a post somewhere, I think it was a Tumblr post, that was like, the real American experience is laying in bed at night, hearing a popping noise and wondering, is that fireworks or is that a gunshot? And that's very true. And then the fiance's mom, who owns the circus, sings a song about how we need Christmas every day.
Every day is just like Christmas.
You know, the sweet message is really undercut by the fact that she's only interested in all this Christmas stuff because of the profit. But again, this is all in favor of keeping the business family-owned instead of letting it be bought out by big corporations. So, you know, I'm down with that.
And now for the Snow Dragon.
Snow Dragons. What a badass thing to be. Snow Dragons would be a great name for a band. So then the Winterbolt guy goes back to the creepy ice demon thing and is like, I need a foil to Rudolph.
Find me a reindeer as mean as Rudolph is kind.
An evil reindeer. So he sends him to this cave, which is like an apartment complex on like the shady side of town.
I've been trying to throw him out all week. Behind in his rent he is.
Where the landlord is like, I know which guy you're looking for. He's behind on his rent. And you're like, what? Because you know how all the children out there in the world can relate to being behind on their rent.
Scratcher!
What you want?
The reindeer's name is Scratcher, and he's a whole lot.
All right, for crying out loud. I'll pay the rent.
Like, just a total mood.
I was all set to be one of Santa's reindeer when he came along.
Aw, well that kind of sucks.
Santa fired you to make room for Rudolph?
Well, I also stole some toys and ate a whole new batch of candy canes.
Well, that might have something to do with it.
It was all downhill from there, till I finally ended up in this joint.
So this guy teams up with a reindeer who wants to ruin Rudolph's life because he lost out on a job because of him, and now he's taken a downward spiral into a life of crime. This is getting really dark. So he sends Scratcher to the circus as well to be like Rudolph's fake friend and then like lead him into a life of crime, I guess.
Life with a circus is like life with a guy.
I'm sorry, what?
Sometimes you're low and sometimes you're high.
Oh my god. I don't know what this next song is called, but she keeps saying chickens today, feathers tomorrow, so that's what it'll always be to me.
Chicken today and feathers tomorrow. One day is good and the next day there's sorrow.
I don't know why this song is here, but it's hilarious.
I don't care what, long as I got my guy.
It's never too early to teach kids about turbulent relationships. So Winterbolt gives Scratcher, the name is just funny still, gives him like the magic reindeer food that makes them fly. And somebody stop motion animated his tongue. And this is not the only time we see the tongue. And it's a little creepy, but it's also kind of admirable that they went to that length. Wow, he just got yeeted. Santa and Mrs. Claus are packing to go down to the circus to chill with everybody else. And they have this conversation about how Santa works too much, but Mrs. Claus is still happy that they're married.
They were good times, Papa.
And I still love you, just as much as the first day I saw you.
Hey kids, you want to learn about Santa Claus's marital problems?
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Oh my god, I destroyed that cuckoo clock. So they take off in the sleigh. I like to imagine that the elves had just like a wild party with everybody else gone. Just total rager. They deserve it. They work way too hard. And once they're up in the sky, Winterbolt sends just a torrential storm. Also, is it weird to anybody else to see Santa Claus just in like a regular hat? I mean, he and Mrs. Claus look very dapper. I like the yellow thing. They match. I love it, but it's just funny. And then we cut away from this very dire situation to see like 5 seconds of all the other characters at a Christmas in July parade with Winterbolt's face like fading in and out, like over it, like Mufasa. And then we just cut right back and there's no real dialogue, so I have no idea why that's there.
I see rainbows when I look at you.
And then Santa sings a song to Mrs. Claus about how he loves her, and even if they die together, he won't be mad. Like, I can't make this up.
We've gotten out of worse situations than this.
I like that she gave him that scarf to wrap around as if the most important thing in that moment was that he might lose his hat. And then we cut back to the parade, and all the characters are still parading, and the mother is on a giraffe? What a power move. Scratcher gets there and literally slides on over to the shady businessman that's trying to buy them out and like makes a deal with him. It's very ominous.
Hey, Rudolph.
Scratcher?
And then he goes up to Rudolph and he's like, buddy!
The big star remembers his old buddy.
We were never buddies.
And Rudolph's like, don't act like you know me. Like you know me, nah.
Haven't had a bite to eat in 3 days.
And then he tells Rudolph that he's fallen on hard times and he needs a job, so Rudolph talks to the mother, the owner, to get him a job.
I'll speak to Miss Lorraine.
Yeah, you do that, Rudolph. You just do that.
Yeah, helping out somebody in need, the dumbass.
Instead of reindeer, I have rain snakes.
He's got snakes pulling his flying sleigh? How does that even work? That's kind of metal, actually. So the circus performance is happening. There's quite a lot of clowns. And backstage, Scratcher's like, hey, I need to go get something from the back room. Can you come with me, Rudolph? I know you're about to perform, but I need light, and your nose is the only source of light around. And Rudolph's like, okay. Meanwhile, Santa and Mrs. Claus are grounded and just like walking really slowly on the actual ground, and so they're not there on time. And also, Winterbolt is just booking it to the circus to beat Santa there.
Oh, I forgot my parasol.
How many times I gotta tell you?
First of all, I love that she just like got halfway across the tightrope without realizing that she didn't have the thing that she needed for balance. But second, that would make any tightrope act so much cooler. If somebody like walks out there without the balancing pole and then somebody else has to like walk out and give it to them, that's badass.
Like I always say, the family that slides together
dies together.
Abides together.
Or that.
You don't always say that, Frosty.
Stick to the script, Daddy.
These kids are learning the ins and outs of the industry real fast, man. So Frosty and his family do their circus act, and I feel like if you have sentient snow people, they don't have to do anything for them to be an entertainment draw. Like, them just existing is cool. While Rudolph is on stage performing, Scratcher dresses up the shady businessman like a police officer. Feels like there's a political commentary in there somewhere, but I'm just gonna keep going. And then he has Rudolph go into the mother's trailer and help him look around for what turns out to be all the money that they made from this show. He tells Rudolph that the mother sent him to get the suitcase of money so that it can be brought to the cop, who is the shady businessman who's trying to buy them out.
The night's receipts.
Oh, that's why she wants to give it to the cop.
For safety reasons, so that he can take it to the bank. You see where this is going. There's also this Christmas carol in the middle of all that gives off very, like, It's a Small World vibes to me.
And wild and sweet the words repeat.
I'm very scared of It's a Small World.
Elephants? I thought the midgets were gonna play the elves.
Uh-oh. I don't think we should say that anymore. There's a rendition of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop.
This is the first time in my life I ever paid attention to the fact that the lyrics are mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. I don't know why I have never registered that part in my brain. I don't know.
Frosty, something funny is going on.
I don't think it's so funny. I'm just about ready to give up hope.
Oh yeah, and poor Frosty is worried that he and his family are gonna die because Santa's not there to pick them up.
You ever see a policeman wearing a helmet?
He just hops on Rudolph's back.
Be sure and hang around outside for a free 4th of July fireworks display.
People were setting fireworks off because, you know, at the time of recording this video, 4th of July was last week. People were setting fireworks off in my neighborhood until 3 in the morning. Between that and the constant injustices carried out by our government, I was not really in a patriotic mood last week. Anyway, so the fireworks are currently going off. There's 100 of them, and once the 100th one goes off, Frosty's whole family is gonna die.
I'm afraid we're gonna be too late to save Frosty.
It's not your fault, Papa.
And Santa and Mrs. Claus are just so quick to throw in the towel. They're like, guess Frosty and his family are gonna die. Yeah, well, we tried.
Children, you must be very brave.
Oh, this is so depressing.
74.
We promised to be brave, Mommy.
I hate this. This is so sad.
And if there's any doubt, well, now you know.
The little tear. No.
Hey, we've been robbed.
The mom finds out that they've been robbed. Rudolph starts to put the pieces together. I wish he could have done this 10 minutes ago. And then Winterbolt shows up. They're like, hey, can you make it so that this whole family doesn't literally melt? And he's like, as long as Rudolph doesn't have any magic, and he points out that Rudolph's nose is not lighting up at all.
I will make the amulet's power last, Rudolph, only so long as your nose remains extinguished.
And then he leverages the fact that these 4 people are going to die over Rudolph's head so that he confesses to the crime that he was tricked into committing so that he loses his magic.
If you clear your name to save your nose, the Frosties all will melt.
It feels like the magic that is, you know, tracking Rudolph's morality should know that he's trying to do the right thing here and not take his magic away on a technicality.
Miss Lorraine, I stole that money.
So Rudolph takes the fall, and Frosty feels bad, but like he can't let his whole family die, so he can't say anything.
I'm sorry, Rudolph, but I don't want the twins associating with a dishonest reindeer.
No, Crystal. He's not a dishonest reindeer.
You must never tell them that I didn't do it.
But Rudolph!
Never!
Never! Oh, and he's lost his magical birthmark. Kick him while he's down. Also, side note, Winterbolt is abusive to his magical flying snakes, and I don't dig that. Also, this creepy businessman that stole their business out from under them is abusive to the poor clowns.
Okay, creeps. There's gonna be some changes around here.
I feel bad for those clowns. And then he does this weird thing where he wants to humiliate Rudolph, so he makes him perform his act knowing that he can't because he doesn't have magic. And I don't understand the logic behind this because all of the customers just ask for their money back because of course they do. They came to see a magical reindeer and they just have like this rando reindeer now. What kind of business move is that?
Just let me be, Milton.
You heard him. Let's go, Milton.
So Rudolph's lost all of his friends. Poor guy.
No bed of roses. That's how life seems to be.
Poor guy, he's depressed.
If there's a glow again, I know that life can be.
You just shove his face in glitter? And then the creepy wall decoration is like, hey, it's not like you've screwed them over enough. Why don't you steal Frosty's hat so he dies?
His hat. Let me show you.
And then they have like a flashback. It's a recreation of the scene from the original Frosty in stop motion, which is kind of cool, but also why not just use the 2D animation? I guess they just thought it wouldn't match up, but it's kind of interesting that they remade the whole scene.
If you had that hat and could find the secret of its magic, you could duplicate it over and over again.
Yeah, he's like, hey, steal the magic hat so that you can mass produce magic hats? What?
And Frosty, the only one who knows the true secret of Rudolph's nose, would be lifeless.
And then your only witness to your crime will be dead. That's so dark. So he plants an idea in Frosty's head and then shows back up and is like, hey, you want to trade me your hat for your friend's powers?
I am no more, but my love, in the form of the northern lights, watches over thee.
And then Rudolph has a conversation with the Aurora Borealis spirit, and she basically just tells him more or less to figure it out on his own.
Be very brave, and the star in the snowflake will return.
But then this whale character shows up, and he mentions Father Time, and I forget which Rankin and Bass movie that's a reference to, but I'm pretty sure it's a reference to one of them.
I work for Father Time.
You didn't know until today that there was a Rankin and Bass extended universe, did you?
So you want to give me your hat, eh?
Only if you can turn Rudolph's nose back on.
Yeah, just flip the switch back on, like at the gas company. And he knows he's gonna die, and so he sings a song about how he's gonna miss his wife. He kind of mentions his kids as an afterthought, but...
Now and then, will you think of me?
What? First of all, that's super depressing. Second of all, if you have time to sing a whole ass song, just go and say goodbye.
In my heart, there's a golden glow.
This is just a lot to take in at 7 o'clock in the morning, guys.
And that's the whole story, Big Ben.
So he tells Ben, the whale that works for Father Time, that he needs help. And the whale's just like, cool, I'll be back, and just like pieces out. But Winterbolt gets the hat, so now Frosty's dead. Rest in peace, Frosty.
You asked for it.
And Rudolph chases off Winterbolt to have a brawl for that hat. He was like, abso-fucking-lutely not. Not after everything I went through. You are going to not kill my friend today, sir.
Frosty?
Oh no, his family just found his dead body. No.
Don't look, children.
Oh my god. Oh god, he's getting attacked by the snakes. What kind of snakes are those? Like, the snake to reindeer ratio is really whack right now, guys.
It's back for good.
Yay. End of the movie, right? Not the end of the movie.
But, can he get another hat, Mommy?
Oh, no.
Remember him as he was.
I can't take it, guys. So Rudolph shows up with the cops, and the cop gives the mom her money back, tells everybody the truth, and puts the hat back on Frosty. And he comes back to life like a snowy Lazarus. Snowy Lazarus would be a great name for a band. Sorry.
Happy birthday!
Fun fact, my birthday's really close to Christmas, so when I was little, and I would watch Frosty the Snowman, every time he would say happy birthday, I'd be like, someone knows about my birthday! And then Frosty and Rudolph have like a bro moment where they are like, you're my best friend, pal, and then sing the Misfits song from the original Rudolph.
That's where we fit in.
Like, nice, like, I like that song, but also it doesn't make sense because they're not misfits at this point in time anymore. They've made friends with the circus. And then Winterbolt shows up, and the mom's like, try me, bitch, and shoots his icicle staff thing, and it just shatters.
No.
Something very important that is also very fragile.
Turn
Jesus, that is terrifying. Oh my god.
into a tree.
Why a tree? My night terrors are gonna be so much worse now. They were already pretty bad. And because he's a dead tree man now, the storm goes away, so Santa and Mrs. Claus can finally get to the circus. They've just been traveling this whole time.
Lainey, what happened?
Oh shit, they melted anyway. Stop it. Oh, and little kids too.
When Frosty melts, nothing can help except a magic December wind to unmelt him.
So the only thing that can revive them is Christmas wind, and it's July, and they're not at the North Pole. But then, remember the whale that worked for Father Time? He shows back up with Jack Frost, you know, from his own Rankin and Bass movie.
Had to go all the way to South America. That's where winter goes in July.
Okay, fair logic, I see that. But he brings them all back to life. I don't know why they come back to life still waist deep in the sand, but anyway, they're alive. And he just has to continuously breathe on them the whole way back to the North Pole so they don't melt again. That's hilarious. But Santa and Mrs. Claus get there so they can at least get back. And Santa gives the circus mom lady the magic feed that he gives the reindeer, so now all of her circus is now a flying circus.
Daddy, can we stay and see it?
No, just get out of there, kids. It's not worth it. And Rudolph decides to stay with the circus for a little while, for reasons. I don't know why. Maybe because he just feels guilty that he got tricked into robbing them? I don't know. And it ends with the circus putting on a flying parade next to Santa's sleigh while they sing the Rudolph theme song, so...
You'll go down in his story.
That's the end. We made it to the end. Can you believe it? This is a very bizarre Rankin and Bass special, and it's much longer than the average Rankin and Bass special. I love that they legitimately just set up their own extended universe. 40 years before Marvel, there was Rankin and Bass. And now I'm traumatized. It was a whole lot, man. I don't really know if there's anything else I have to say that I haven't already said. This is going to be a long video, so I'm gonna wrap it up here so that I can get it edited and out to you guys so that you may experience this along with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. You guys are the best. We're about to hit 1,300 subscribers at the time of filming this video, which means a lot to me. I love the community that we have. Thank you. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Happy Christmas in July, everybody.